the audience that Martin Luther King was speaking to at the time was an audience filled with Americans who some had lived through Plessy versus Ferguson, I mean that far back, the groundbreaking decision that affected African Americans and civil rights for the next, I guess, half century or so. And then others were living with the realities of Brown versus Board of Education, the landmark case that desegregated schools. So these were Americans who not only were still sort of unfamiliar with the idea of integration, these are Americans who were unfamiliar with the idea of equality for Black people in any sense of the word. These were Americans who were unfamiliar with the idea of what America would actually look like with the races interacting with one another. I mean, this is a profoundly different America than any of us who have grown up in the last couple of decades have known. And we were the Americans that Barack Obama was delivering his landmark speech to. I think the way that I worded it in the essay is that Martin Luther King was talking to Americans who had dreamed of this dream and had never had the chance to live it. Barack Obama was speaking to the first couple of generations who had actually had the chance to live the dream. One of the, I think, most profound numbers I saw come out of exit polling after the election was that 60% of the people of all different races who cast votes for President Obama said that they believe that our country is headed in a great direction in terms of race relations, and that's people of different races at different ages. And I think that speaks to our country and sort of the optimism of where we're heading. And then, of course, the other thing that speaks to great optimism about that is that, Barack Obama would not be President of the United States without the support he received from female voters and from Black voters and from young voters. But he also would not have been President of the United States without the support he received from young white voters, first and foremost in Iowa. I mean, he simply would not have captured the nomination had it not been for that surprise, huge win. And when you go back and you look at the numbers, I think he won by something like 20,000 votes. They registered 17,000 new voters of college age in Iowa. And I think we all know that there aren't a ton of minorities living in Iowa. So that, in and of itself, makes me particularly hopeful about the direction and the future of our country in terms of race and the hip-hop generation and millennials who have really been at the forefront of this multicultural, multiracial movement that's becoming the face of America.